House Democrats have proposed lifting the federal, state, and local taxes deduction cap. It's a bargaining chip in the ongoing debate over the nearly $2 trillion spending package. It's a lot more than that. Anyway, according to a draft of the bill released by the Rules Committee, and Robert Frank has more. Hey, Robert.
Good morning, Joe. Now we have dueling proposals from the House and Senate on changing that SALT cap. The House plan calls for raising the current $10,000 cap to $72,500 for 10 years. The plan would cost about $300 billion over the decade in lost revenue, with 2/3 of those benefits going to those making more than $250,000 a year. But the cost of those tax cuts would be offset, at least on paper, by extending the higher cap through 2031. And right now, that cap is expected to expire in 2025 under current law. So under the bizarre rules of congressional accounting, that makes it budget neutral. The Senate, on the other hand, coming up with its own plan, Senator Bernie Sanders calling an earlier House plan to completely eliminate the cap, quote, absurd and hypocritical. He and Senator Bob Menendez offering a new plan to eliminate the cap, but only for households with incomes under $400,000 a year. Those making more than that would still be subject to the $10,000 a year cap indefinitely. Now, like the House plan, the Senate plan would be revenue neutral thanks to those current expiration dates. Menendez saying his plan would fully exempt 98% of New Jersey property taxpayers. Joe?
Such a strange dance to watch, Robert. So many strange bedfellows. I was going to kid around with you and say, why don't you just shut your trap, Robert, and let this happen, please? And you know why? I live in New Jersey. It's like when I get a Twitter thing that says, oh, you're just a fat cat. You got all those tax cuts during the 2017 tax plan. Remember? They all say that. I mean, that was a major deal, repealing SALT for people in New York and New Jersey. And that's why Democrats, Josh Gottheimer, I mean, obviously he's a moderate, and some of those other types, he's a moderate Democrat. But to be so vociferous and so strident and so adamant about really wanting to do something that really benefits just the 1%, just what is it, 80% of the benefits go to the 1%, Robert, isn't it?
If you just repealed SALT, 57% goes to the top 1%, and over 80% goes to the top 5%. And the problem with SALT, and it was genius to put this in the original Trump tax cuts, is that it is so expensive to repeal. I mean, you're talking about over $425 billion to repeal, nearly, $80 or $90 billion a year. And so that's what they've run into. Yes, it's unfair, they say, to blue states, but it is just so costly, especially as you stripped out all these other revenue raisers from the Senate opposition. You really can't take much out of this when it comes to revenue raisers. So that's the problem, is the cause.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.